sure. Don't use the towel because I have the heated towels that are in the hot cabinet there. We're going to use them, and I'll show you how to use them. So you can follow along. So remember, we're just going to go right up into above the diaphragm. You start out by just gently introducing your touch to the feet, to the client's feet. And then you don't have to apply any lotion right away. You can just do a little bit of range of motion, or we're just going to do anything you want to do to warm up. There are some suggested warm-ups on your protocol. You can follow them along. If you like one of the other ones that we practiced, you can do that. Usually it's good to start with either a heel hold or a solar plexus hold. So you would slide your hands underneath. I'm just going to slip here. That's okay. That's all right. I'm just going to slide my hands up underneath, nice and easy, and then just lean back for a little hold like that. And if she were laying flat down, you would be able to stretch out a little bit more. And watch when I do these things, right? There's a lot of this stroking and going between the feet without losing contact of the feet. So you want to keep doing that. That's like finessing your massage a little bit. So foot rocking, remember we're just going to take the feet and get a little bit of motion in there. Notice how my body's doing the work. I'm just like rocking back and forth. And then we have ankle rotations. Just get a little mobility in there. We have the ankle boogie, heel of the hand. Just jiggle the boogie the foot. You can jiggle on up if you want. And then the lung press, medial hand, fingers around the dorsum of the foot, and then your other hand makes a fist around your thumb, and you just dorsiflex the foot.
Are you using your thumb as well?
Am I using?
Your thumb as well.
My thumb is my other finger outside, my other hand is wrapped around the thumb like that, right? So watch as I do it on the other foot, right? So we're going to move over here. So we had ankle rotations. Did we do foot rocking? Foot rocking first. And ankle rotations. Notice how I did a few techniques on one foot and then a few on the other, rather than one and one, back and forth, back and forth. And then ankle boogie. Okay, medial hand, fingers on the dorsum, other hand makes a fist around the thumb, and dorsiflex the foot with your fist. Just like that. How's that feel? Good?
That's great.
Good? Okay. And that's it. And then I'm going to maintain contact, right, by draping my hand over while I get a little bit of lotion. Warm it up in my hand first, and then apply it to the feet. Just a little bit. Just kind of stroke it and draw it out over the toes. And what's the last foot I worked on? It was this one, right? Right? So we're going to go right back to that. If we want, we can keep the other foot warm by covering it up, right? So if I didn't have that there, I could use the sheet to cover it up. And so now we're going to ring the foot. Fingers on the dorsal side, thumbs stacked on the plantar side, and you just squeeze and ring. Working your way from the ankle to the base of the toes, not up on the toes, just on the base of the toes. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you need to apply more cream, you can. I'm just going to cover this foot, and we're going to do the same thing over here. Notice how my elbows go in and out like this. That's how you get it. You know, you can do this pretty intensely, and it still feels good. Obviously, you know, check in with your client, make sure. These are all the warm-up techniques we did last week. Okay? And then we're ready to move on to the next step, which is our effleurage. We're going to start with thumb walking all of the zones, right? So I was over here, so I'm going to continue over here, right?
So Sharon, for the final, we have to do all the steps and the warm it up, or just the one we done?
For the protocol, for the final, you can just do the 6 that are there. But if you like, you know, in your own practice, you can do any number of them, right? So I'm going to start thumb walking, beginning at the base of the right foot, up to the base of at the heel, up to the base of the toes. Starting with zone 1. Usually we always start with zone 1. Just up to the neck and shoulder line. And then slide back down, and we're going to complete zone 2. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's great. Feels so specific.
And then I'm going to do zone 3. See how I'm using the radial edge of my thumb. You can go a little bit slower in practice, but I'm just demonstrating. Now, my thumb's getting tired, so I'm going to swap and use the other hand. Notice how I shifted my chair over a little bit? So I complete zone 4. And then I go to zone 5. And this whole time I'm like feeling, where do I feel tightness, where do I feel restriction? And then you're going to thumb walk. So we walked all of the zones. Now we're going to thumb walk the horizontal guidelines, right? We're already here. We already completed zone 5. All we have to do is work lateral to medial, right? So we just go straight across. In this case, I'm completing the neck and shoulder line. Now, if you feel like you need more support, you can use your other hand to support. Diaphragm line is next. And these are just opening strokes. Feel for the base of the 5th metatarsal. That's our waistline landmark. And then our last line is the pelvic line. Right, and we just did the whole thing, right? So now we're ready to work on the next foot. This is a transition stroke. Just kind of make the feet feel like a hole, and then we start over here. Same thing, begin by thumb walking zones 1 through 5. Now notice how when I'm on the left foot here, I'm using my left hand. That's generally the rule, but as long as your body mechanics are okay, and it feels better if you do it with your right hand, that's okay. Now, let me show you one thing as well. I'm going to do zone 3. And you notice how the feet are kind of like plantar flexed a little bit, right? So don't be afraid to dorsiflex so that you can easily complete your walk up the zone. And then, like I said, we can easily swap out our hands. Sometimes after a reflexology session, just like after a regular massage session, clients feel a little woozy, they feel lightheaded, they can feel more thirsty than usual. They might sleep better than they normally have. They might sleep worse than they normally have. So those are all things that can happen after a session. And that is the diaphragm line, right? And we're all done, right? So I'm going to stop right here because I need